start this recording. No, you sound good. Nice and clear. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have my recording started. Let me share. I guess I'll just share my screen anyway, even though right now we're going to be mostly talking. But that way, in case there's something I want to like show you, I can do that.
Sure.
Let me know when you can see that.
I can see it. I'm in.
Okay, perfect. So, I have your list of things pulled up on my phone.
Alright.
Is there anything in particular you wanted to start with, or you want me to just kind of go down the list?
You can go down the list. I have no particular order.
Okay. All right. Well, we're starting with a big one then. The first one is implementing platform tech chasing. How did you do it? Where to start? Also, what can Doc even do off of a tech chase on the ground? That's a good question. So I guess we can start with that. Let me actually, this will be a good time to go into verse mode or something. So we'll start with on the ground. The main thing that you could really do for tech chasing here would be F throw. I need him to be in center stage. F throw. And what you can do is you go for the fair there, right? If they tech in place, you'll probably miss it, but you can get a grab there. If they tech away after that fair, you can wave dash forward, down smash, or if they tech in, you could wave land back or wave dash back and F smash or down smash. It's kind of the tech chase on the ground is like tougher because there's a lot of you have to kind of have an idea of what you think they're going to do beforehand. It's kind of hard to cover every option on reaction. But I think for me at least the main like starting point for it is the fair. Like, if I know that they're in knockdown percent, I'm just going to go like this and go like that. Okay, so... What? No, yeah, ask questions at any point, so... What were you going to say?
So what percent works for Fox, if you have those percentages off the top of your head?
It's, for me, like, I'm not really a big percentage / frame data person, but I kind of, like, eyeball it. Like, I would say anything over 20 is probably about right for him. I'm really, like, let me see. We can just figure it out real quick. Okay, so not there. There. He was at 10%, and that's already knocked down. So pretty much any percent on Fox, you can do that. And that would be good in a situation where, like, if you're right here. So this gets into the platform tech chasing thing, but let me get him here. If you're right here and you're not sure, not right here. Hold on, let me find a better spot. Like, right here, right? So if you're not sure if up throw is going to land him on the platform or not, depending on like the percent you're on, this would be a good time, especially because F throw sends him toward the corner, so you can kind of just go like this and then get him off stage. Of course, I missed it there, but you get what I'm saying.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and then of course the other option is like doing the up throw and wave landing on the platform. So that's the whole tech chase thing. But we'll focus on ground for now. So any other questions about that?
Down smash. Do you have any advice for tech chasing off down smash at low percent?
Same idea. You could, like, even instead of, if you could do that instead of the fair, like, F throw, oh, see, he teched it there. That's why I like going for the fair, but yeah. But, like, mostly for me, if I'm going to down smash, it's as a result of missing the fair. Like, I'll go for the fair, and then if I read, like, wave land away, or if I react to it in time, you can kind of just, like, wave dash forward after the fair, as long as you hit your L cancel and hit the, a down smash there. But I think mostly, if you're going to down smash, it's kind of hard to do it when they actually tech. It's more off of, like, a mistech reaction. Like, if he doesn't tech, and you follow up, like I dash forward and grab it, you can dash forward and down smash or wave dash forward, down smash there.
I think that covers that. I would love to hear your elaboration on the platform tech chasing aspect of this.
Okay, so this is a big one. I've been waiting for people to ask about this. Pretty much, I mean, it all boils down to grab. Like, that's really what's going to send them onto the platform most of the time, and that's also what you want to follow up with so you can keep the punish going. I literally do that. I up throw, I wave land onto the platform. That time I didn't even wave land. I just kind of jumped and wave landed down. But you can also, like, wave land forward. Pretty much every option is easily coverable as long as they don't tech in place, and most people don't start with tech in place, and that's kind of where you you do it normally, and then when they start teching in place, that's when you could start doing things like going for the F throw on the ground. Because if you, let me back up. Up throw around like 25% ish is going to land them on the platform on every stage. Obviously on Yoshi's it's a little earlier, but you just react to the DI that they're doing. Of course, I'm just doing. Let me go to Uncle Punch actually, because this guy's not going to DI.
Question.
Sure.
So, do you double jump the platform? Does that get you there any faster, or do you just do a single?
It's weird because sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. I thought until recently that I always double jumped, but then I was watching some of my footage back, and sometimes I just like short hop, or not short hop, but like full hop waveland down, and I don't really think the double jump gets you there that much quicker. So you can do either. I think the double jump is probably a little harder to input. Like the way that I do the double jump is that I slide my finger from Y to X so that I get like an instant double jump. Let me pull this back up for you. Where is it? Training mode, okay. All right, can you see this again? Okay. I guess we would just do this as training lab, but at least he'll DI now. These ones are always super fast, but basically you can cover anything except for tech in place. So that time I did an instant double jump, waveland down, and then just dashed toward the way that he reacts, or the way that he techs. Because you can, when you waveland here, right? Like if they tech in place, then that's the hard reaction. But if you waveland here, you have time to see like, is he going to the left or right? And then it's literally just a dash grab input. So I'm trying to think. I know I'm not verbalizing this well. I'm really trying to like figure out the best way to say it, but like that. I just wavelanded down, and I just stood there for a second and watched the way that he was going. And then the ideal is to grab, because grab is going to continue it longer. At higher percents, if I waveland here and I read he's teching to the left or the right, I can just F smash it if I'm in the right spot. But usually I'm just going to go for grab, because either way you can get a kill off of it.
Yeah.
And like realizing too that a lot of players have similar tech habits. So at like kind of lower level, they're all going to do the same thing. Like I'm going to grab him here. Is he not going to come down? Well, either way, I would grab him here, right? I'm going to up throw. And because I'm throwing him out toward the edge of the stage, he's going to waveland in toward the center of the stage. So I'm going to go like this, and then I'm going to dash it and grab him here. Then he might, like this is where it might split. He might either DI out a little to try to not, because he doesn't want to get chain grabbed anymore. So he might DI out, and I can get another free grab here and then free grab here. Or if he just goes up instantly, I'm just wavelanding here, and he's going to probably do the same thing where because he's moving to the right out of the hit stun, he's going to tech to the left. So like just trying to catch on to like common tech habits like can really help with it. And then like as the players kind of get better, like they might start off by tech rolling a lot, and then you can kind of like see that they'll eventually tech in place. And this is what I was going to say before. That's when I really like to mix up the like F throw on the ground, because once I see that in their minds, they're like, okay, crap, if he throws me onto a platform and I tech roll, he's grabbing me, so I need to be ready for tech in place. Then you just grab them and mix them up with F throw, and they're going to be so set on teching in place that they're going to do it. And that's where you just get the get him down here. That's where you just this fucking fox is jumping. That's where you just go for like the forward throw and then fair. But I think what it comes down to is having your baseline plan of like, I'm going to grab them, I'm going to chain grab them, and then as they get to platform, I'm going to react and waveland on, and then just put yourself in the position. Normally, I try to waveland toward like right in the center of the platform. So that way, dash grab hits here, dash grab hits here.
Yeah.
And if they miss tech, what I go for is, again, I'm wavelanding toward the center of the platform. Let's say they are landing right in front of me here to choose their tech. If they miss tech, I'm instantly shielding. Because most of the time, if they miss tech, they're going to panic and get up attack, and then you can just still get the grab off of it.
So one quick thing.
Sure.
You mentioned at the beginning, I think that you instant double jump when you double jump out of this.
Yeah.
Is that accurate? Alright.
Yeah, so like right here, I'm sliding without wave landing, that's what it looks like. I'm sliding from Y to X. You don't have to do it that way. You can probably just press Y or X really fast. But I do it that way because I find it's easy.
Alright. I was not sure at the timing. You're double jumping, so that clarifies a lot. Thank you.
Yeah. It's like as instant as you can get it because you're always going to get enough height to reach the side plat. And Doc, by doing it instantly, the double jump doesn't really go all that high, so it kind of puts you perfectly like right above it. So that even if you don't wave land, you're kind of like ready. But it's pretty easy to just wave land down, or if you're coming from over here, just wave land like forward.
Yeah.
What else you got?
That's it for tech chasing. Guess we can just go on to the next part of the list.
Okay, yeah, and like obviously as you try to like implement those things, you're gonna have more questions. Like just send them to me and I'll try to answer them best I can. I know that some of these aren't the best explanations. It's kind of what happens for me because like I never really sat down and like labbed a lot of things. I kind of just like learned by playing for a long time. And so like if someone said to me, what percent can you do this thing? A lot of times I have like a ballpark percent of like what I'll look for. Like I know that I want to say around like 20 is when they can start landing on the platform if they DI straight up, if it's Fox. A little like lower than that, you have to just try to be aware that like you're going to up throw him and he's not going to reach the platform, so you dash forward and grab him again. But it's just like little things like that, and you'll start to like catch on to them the more you just go for the platform tech chases.
I wouldn't worry about your explanations too much because I have so much experience in this game. I know parts of all of this already, but you're helping me fill in the blanks a lot.
Cool. Okay.
Helping me get a more coherent picture of all of these things we're going over.
Cool. I'm glad to hear that. All right, so the next thing you said was mindfulness in game, so I can learn actively rather than autopiling what I already know. Okay, that's a good question. And I think that this is something that a lot of people, and like maybe players better than me have a different opinion on this, but I think that a lot of people try to stress too much about thinking in game. And I think that like I think autopilot has like a negative connotation to it because it makes it sound like, yeah, I'm just running at you with Nair, and then, when you're punishing me by dashing back and grabbing me, I'm still running at you with Nair. I think autopilot, to me, means more of like, you have a game plan that you're going for, and you have certain like punishes set up that you're going for that you don't really have to think about, so that the little bit of thinking you do need to do in game can be focused on like, okay, what is this person looking for? What are they punishing me with? And like trying to pick out their habits and stuff like that too. But other than that, I don't think it's good to try to think too much, because then I think you're like almost backseat gaming yourself, rather than letting like the instincts that you've trained do the work for you. So the mindfulness in game that I try to think about is like obviously going into a set, I try to have somewhat of an idea of the player's skill level. Like, are they better than me? Are they about the same as me? Are they worse than me? Even that is enough to kind of know. And also like how much have they played against Doc? Because that matters. And then I like to think about it like the game plan that I have. I always start with my level 1 game plan, right? Like in an ideal world, if they have no idea what they're doing against me, I'm going to chain grab them. I'm going to go for gimps and set up things that like they're not going to know how to get out of. And then you kind of have to see where they are along that. Like I have my level 1, and then if they start like they figure out the level 2 option, I just start covering that because I know what that next option is. But I go into it assuming that they don't, unless I know that they do. Okay, so getting back to the autopiloting part. So yeah, I go for my baseline game plan, and I just start to try to look for habits. Like, let's say I am chain grabbing them, and I'm platform tech chasing, and I see that twice now he's teched in place and shined, so if I try to wave land on, I just get shined off and don't get anything off of it. That's when I start to think, okay, well, that I can either throw them up there and go for an up air, or I can F-throw them and go for fair to mix it up, because I know that now they want to tech in place. It's little things like that. Or if I see that, like, okay, this guy really wants to shine, like wave shine up smash me, and I'm at 0%, and he's doing it in bad spots, I can know, like, okay, now the next time he does that, I'm just going to crouch cancel it, the up smash, and then I can just get a grab. So like kind of reacting to what they do and like always going in with my baseline game plan and not overthinking it, and then just trying to react to the things that I see that like they do that indicate to me that they kind of know how to get out of the stuff that I'm going for, if that makes sense.
No, that does make sense. I hear a lot about, with mid-tier specifically, having the adaptations your opponent will do already ingrained in you with, your response to their adaptions.
Yes.
It's already ingrained in you as a mid-tier. It's good to hear some elaboration on that.
Yeah. So like, I think that like if you were to have it on a scale of like 1 to 5, right? Like I already know the level 5 mix-ups. I know those because when I play against top players that I've played enough times, I have to do those. But when I'm playing against random Fox number 5 or number 4, whatever, and they don't, and I don't need to worry about going for my big mix-ups when they probably don't even know how to get out of the baseline thing, especially because sometimes when you try to make it too complicated, they might get out of it because of them doing the wrong thing. You know, if I'm expecting them, to do the right thing or the thing that's going to get them out, like the 1 out of 1 thing that's going to get them out of the punish that I'm doing, then I'm going to overthink it. So yeah, I definitely think it's like you go in with your level 1 game plan, but be ready as they learn the levels. And like better players will learn the levels faster. So like when I played Crike, I went in and I could tell that he had no idea what he was doing against Doc, but literally by game 2, we were already at the end of the mix-up line and like he figured it out. And that's why like I won the first 2 games and then he almost reverse 3-0'd me. And that's where it's just holding on. But if you can get those first few games, especially in a tournament set, and especially against Spaceys, because I feel like for them it's harder to kind of pick it up because, you know, you get one grab and you can kind of kill off of it a lot of times. You just want to make all of your openings count and like just be cognizant of like where in your personal mix-up chain they are. And it's going to be different for everyone, right? Like I do the platform tech chases and I have my own things in my mind that once they start doing, I'm going to go to X option and start mixing it up. But it's really just a matter of like fleshing out your own punish game and punish routes. And when they do the certain thing, because when they learn how to get out of it, it's going to be the same as the last person that learned how to get out of it, you know? So you just have to be ready to do what it is that you're going to do next. I hope that makes sense.
No, it does make sense. I think I've very much fleshed out my level 1 to a disproportionate extent.
Okay.
And that's probably coming down to the fact that I am mostly just a Slippy player at this point in time.
Okay.
That's going to change, of course. But so, for a bit of a out-of-game question, how do you get to a point where you're playing better players on a consistent basis for longer periods of time?
You mean like how do I keep up for that amount of time, or how do I like literally find better players to play against?
How do you literally find better players to play against?
So there's a couple ways you can go about it. I kind of am lucky because by playing enough Slippy, like my even my unranked MMR is high enough that like I'm constantly running into top 100 players. But outside of that, it's just going into, so you can go into a big server like Melee Online, right? Obviously, at first, you're not going to be able to ping in higher levels, but you can ping. There are always people pinging below their level, right? Like you'll always find experts pinging in intermediate and advanced, because sometimes it's because they just want to beat up on someone worse than them, but sometimes it's also because they'll be looking for a matchup. Like for reference, I'm the only person higher than expert in Melee Online. So if someone knew that they had to play me, I'm obviously not going to warm them up for myself. So they're going to have to go into advanced, intermediate, and ping there for a Dr. Mario player. Kind of going off of that, another thing you could do is like regions that have prominent docs, like people who like, especially ones that are like PR'd, right? So if you were near SoCal and when Franz was super active, I guarantee if you had joined a SoCal Discord and was like, anyone want to practice against Dr. Mario? Like you would have 50 people say yes. It's a little tougher right now because there's not really that many of us that are active. But I personally know that there's people in Philly that are always trying to grind the matchup because as someone lower on the PR, they view me as like more attainable. So they're like, yeah, let me get good at that matchup. And for a while we had also like 2 Mario players too that were good. I think that is like the main way. There are also like Discord is really kind of the answer, but there are also Discord servers that are specifically grind servers for people like literally just looking to get better. And those people, usually people in those are pretty good about wanting to play every matchup. Because I do understand that sometimes you might be looking for someone to play against you, and they're like, well, why would I want to play against Dr. Mario? But that's why you just have to find the people that would want to play against Doc.
That's very helpful. Again, thank you.
Sure.
It's a little tougher because my region is also pretty weak in general. I suppose I could go to other states.
What state are you from again?
Oklahoma.
Okay. Yeah, that's a little tougher. But there are definitely good players around there. And like, especially, when majors come up and there's a Doc traveling, like if you were to see that I'm entering a major and you look for who's in my path, chances are all of those people would want to warm up against Doc, especially if they're not seeded to beat me. Or if they are and it's close, like they're going to want to make sure they don't be the person that loses to Dr. Mario. So you can use that to your advantage. And don't feel bad about like, is it messed up for me to warm somebody up for the one Doc going? Because it's like, no, like we're all trying to get better. And at the end of the day, if that means for me that they're going to have a little bit of matchup knowledge coming in, that's fine. Because we all also play differently from one another too. Yeah, so I think like just don't be afraid of like hitting people up too. But I think like the best answer I could give right now would be Melee Online. And also, I don't know how much, I know you're saying you want to start going into locals, but don't sleep on like net play tournaments, especially things like Waddle Wednesday. Pretty much anything that DevDog hosts, a lot of top players enter it, and just by entering, you're going to get to play against good players.
I will very much take that into account. I should start hitting those up. I probably will after something called a doctor, for sure.
Yeah, I think that it's a really good way to get practice because, yeah, it's the same as just Slippy net playing somebody, but you're playing somebody in a tournament, so everyone's taking it more seriously. You're not going to find people like just being an asshole because you're playing Doc, or quitting out on you because they have to play you. It's kind of like ranked in that way, but like some people still don't really even care about ranked. But in a tournament, like people are going to try in a tournament. So I think that they're really helpful. And like even if you just look at Waddle Wednesday, like Hungry Box enters sometimes. Like Bobby Big Balls always enters, Salt always enters. So like you're gonna play these people, even if you're not winning like a lot of your early sets, you'll probably get seeded into one of them pretty early on. So just getting those reps in against good players, like you played Mewtwo King, you said for like 30 minutes, and you probably felt like that was really good practice because you're like, wow, okay, I'm seeing what happens when I go for my options and somebody knows how to get out of them. Like, even if you didn't know what the next step was, that's the type of practice you need because the more exposure you get to good players that know how to get out of, like, the level 1 stuff, that's how you start to develop the level 2 and 3 and 4.
Absolutely.
All right. Anything else on that, or you want to move on to the next thing?
I think I got more than I could have ever expected from that, so
okay.
I think I'm ready to move on.
Okay, so this will be a good one because I actually wanted a little clarity on what you meant. So you said improving movement in niche situations, anything that can't easily be practiced in vanilla training mode or out of shield, where I often get caught being slow or fucking up inputs. So like, do you have an example of what you mean?
Let's say I think I've worded that incorrectly. So one example is general shield pressure. I worded that incorrectly, as I said, but general shield pressure is something that I oftentimes can't really practice timing for very easily because there's not really a way for me to do that I'm aware of. If I go into a game and I try to hyper focus on that, then I'm often just caught shielding and waiting or anticipating a situation that won't really arise.
Okay. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, you're too focused on, all right, when they're in shield, I'm going to shield pressure. So then you end up like not really playing the game half the time.
Yeah. Well, inverse, when they're shield pressuring me is what I meant.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, same concept.
Okay. Yeah, that's a tough one. So out of shield is, like, I know that you had said, at least when you were very consistently playing, like you felt like you were super good at the up B cancels out of shield. I think that it's just a matter of like getting yourself in games and not intentionally putting yourself in those situations, but like just training yourself to be like, even if you're just focusing on one option, right? If it's just when he's shield pressuring me, I'm going to up B cancel out of shield. even if they end up behind you and they mix you up, like to be proud of the up B cancel out of shield and just kind of like go for that until that level gets consistent, and then you can try to work on like, okay, well now if they cross me up and they're behind me, I want to back air them out of shield. But trying to worry, I feel like if you're thinking too much about I'm going to put myself in shield and I'm going to be ready for every single option out of shield that I need to do in the correct situation, that's like a big lift from like going from not having any of it practiced. So pick one thing, and every time they hit your shield, just go for that one thing. I would say the up B cancel out of shield is probably the best one to start with, just because most of the time that's going to be your best answer. And I think, I obviously it's easier said than done to just say like don't focus on it so much that you don't play the game. But yeah, I think like those situations are going to arise, and if you can just play the game and just worry about the one option, then I think you'll be good at identifying, okay, I'm in shield, let me up B cancel out of it.
That follows. All right. I think that covers that.
Okay. I know that it's not like a great answer because I'm somebody who has more experience with Uncle Punch could probably tell you a way to set up like easy Falco shield pressure or something. And I think Falco is probably the best one to practice it against. So if you know how to do save states, and you could set up a save state where a Falco does like down air shine, and then like, and you do like where they do high down air into shine and then like low down air shine, and you just practice like that, because both situations you're going to want to up B cancel. It's just when they do the high down air, you want to do it after the down air, and if they do low down air shine, you want to wait till after the shine. But even just setting up one of those to start with, though, and just like going through the repetition of like, okay, Falco down aired my shield, up B cancel. But I'm not a save state person, but someone who is will definitely be able to help with that.
I'm definitely not a save state person either, because that sort of era of Uncle Punch tools came kind of after I stopped taking the game seriously for a bit.
Yeah. So wait, let me try for 2 seconds to see if I know how to do this. I think you like pause, you do recording. Yeah, it's like you go into it, you do recording, and you would you control the character, and then you would just make Falco do down air. But also hit up DP3, because he a while ago had sent a bunch of save states that he already made in here, and they might literally be just like floating in the doc Discord somewhere. And I believe there is one for Falco shield pressure. So you might not even have to worry about it, and you could just import save states, and like that's pretty easy to do.
All right, will do.
Okay. Let's see. We definitely have time for like one or two more. Punish game beyond practicing chain grabs and kill confirms. That kind of goes back to the like whole like levels thing, that like at the baseline level you do just want to go for chain grabs, but like eventually as people get better, they're going to get out of it, and you'll start to like see what options you can do from there. But it's going to have to just be a thing where like you go for punishes and you go for chain grabs, and as a situation comes up over and over, you'll be like, okay, when they get out of it this way, it like, they just got out of my chain grab the same way 3 times in a row, and like I didn't follow up, so like what can I do there? And that's where like having a specific question or like a specific situation and just kind of like not even like labbing it out in game, but just kind of thinking about it and being like, okay, well, like I keep going back to the example of if you're going for tech chases on platforms and they tech in place shine, right? Like, okay, well, what can I do for that instead? And that's where you can come up with, okay, I can up air underneath it. I can F throw them and try to get a tech chase on the ground with fair, because they're going to tech in place because that's what they're anticipating. I could back throw them off stage, like just changing the options up. And like then going back to that level 1 option when you think they're probably not prepared for it. Because even though I've seen Fox learn that he can tech and place shine a million times, they're just figuring this out in the moment. So if I don't go for it for a few minutes and then I go for it again, they might not be ready. But yeah, I think just in general, like the punish game is just go for the level 1 punishes, and then as they start to get out, or as like as it becomes more difficult, you could start to mix things up. Like knowing that also that like instead of doing up throw chain grab, you could do down throw down smash. If you're on, like if they're on the, let's see, if they're like here, again, So if they're like right here, right? Let's say he's at 30%, and I know that he's like, I'm chain grabbing him. So let's say I start a little bit to the right of this, and I'm up throwing him, he DIs to the left. I up throw him, he DIs to the left, and then we're right here. And I know, okay, he's at like 30%. He probably was DIing to the left because he wants to go to the platform. I can just say, well, if he's going to DI to the left, then I can down throw, down smash him, and he's going to end up off stage. So like things like that too. Like realizing what your opponent is doing with their DI and like what their goal is with that DI, because usually it's to get to a certain position on the stage. When they're being chain grabbed, they want to either get, like on FD, they're going to try to get off stage, or like they'll trick you to going toward the edge of the stage either way. And on other stages, they're going to try to go toward platforms. So knowing, okay, well, if he's going toward the platform, then I'm just going to like mix him up and down smash him to get him off stage, like that type of stuff.
All right, makes sense to me. We have time for one more thing.
Yeah, of course.
So pills.
Yes. Okay.
I've never been someone who's really incorporated them in a coherent way. They never really clicked with my head, projectiles in general. And that comes in terms of playing against them or using them myself.
Okay.
I'm going to focus on using them myself here.
Okay.
So I've built up my game already to a very large extent without using pills.
Yeah.
It feels like a very monumental concept to add it now to my game.
Okay.
Do you have any advice for how to do that?
Well, okay, so we've already talked about like the proper usage of them, and I think knowing that is like the best start. Like not just being the guy who's going like this and then like, you know, retreating and just keeping to go like this. Like realizing that every time you put one out, there's a goal. So even that full hop right there, that is in front of him. So the goal is like, let's get him to shield so I can run in and get a grab, or like so I could wave dash in and down smash him. I think just like being mindful of how you use them, and also identifying like the percents that they might help. So here, let me go Marth.
So one thing I want to add.
Sure.
When I have developed my game around the fact that if I want to get in or do anything, I have to do it at, ranges where pill doesn't really apply. Like, if I can only get in through scrapping and whatnot, which is kind of how I've developed,
yeah,
then it seems, again, like a monumental task to add something as big as pill.
Yeah, so you feel like you already know, like, okay, if I want to get in on Marth here, I wait till he whips, I wave dash in, I down smash him. Like that kind of thing. Exactly. But you're like, how does pill fit into that? Exactly. So the way pill fits into that is to get from this range to this range, or to do a better, like an approach from this range with the same kind of thing. Because putting this out here, I can then follow up on him and then get closer. Well, I guess here I'd have to like do one of those. But see how I'm already in front of him when that pill gets there? So it's just an extra layer of that same like approach on the ground with down smash, that you can use the pill to like cover it or like trick them into doing something, right? Like I know that I want to get grabs on Marth, and the best punishes I'm going to get on Marth are off of grabs. So this wave down smash or wave dash down smash doesn't really do much for me. So that's where I can be like, okay, well, he's at, let me get him back up to that percent. Wow, he just arms attacked. One more. Okay, so that's where I could be like, all right, he's at percent, I want to get the grab here. Like, up throw fair is going to kill, I want this grab. So I'm going to go like this, get him to shield, and then I dash it and I can get the grab, and then that way I'm actually getting a punish off of it and not just like an extra neutral opening with wave dash down smash. And I think that's what it really comes down to, is that if you feel like most of your openings are things that you're doing off of just like raw scrapping, it's probably not grab most of the time, because Doc has a lot of trouble just getting raw grabs because of how ass his grab range is and like the way that you have to go about doing that. Like, yeah, you could use like jab grab, but even then, like that's probably the only way off of scrapping you're really going to get them. So pill, the way that I like to use it is to like force them to shield and cover my approach. So that way, if I do approach with fair, they're shielding it, and then I can fair jab grab, or I can just dash in and grab if they're at kill percent.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
That is immensely helpful once again.
Okay.
I think it also will answer part of my question of how to get more openings.
Yeah. Yeah, I think like the main answer for how to get more off of openings comes back to grab, and that you're probably not getting grab. Like every matchup, you should have a game plan, right? So like against Marth, and for me, most of them are off of grab. I think most should be off of grab because Doc's grab is like his throws are all of his combo game. But for me, like I know, okay, this percent I want down throw, up smash, okay, and then it's like higher percent I want to get here. I want to get down throw, up air. And then once they get to like that 65, that's when I want, or I guess like 70 on this stage, that's when I want to get the up throw fair. So knowing what percents you want certain punishes against each character is going to help a lot. And then I think pill is just kind of like a means to like help yourself get that. Like, yeah, if you don't really want to get a grab, if they're at 130%, and that's where I think a lot of docs will struggle, is the opponent will be at like 130 and they're just going like this because they're like, okay, well, I got to work my way in for a kill. But this isn't going to lead to any kill. You know, maybe this will lead to you being able to run in, but most of the time, they're just going to be swatting those. And if you want to actually like get your kill off of it, then that's where you can kind of just like bait them into doing something wave dash in and a down smash because they're already at kill percent. But earlier percents than that is when you really want to like use the pills to work your way in. And like, you know, the damage that they build is not inconsequential. Like if I hit with a few of these while I'm trying to use them to work my way in, it's going to do more percent. But yeah, the main thing that they should be used for, more so than the percent building, is like actually using them to work your way in and get a grab.
I think that's everything I had on my list. I have a few more things I can go over, but I think that's for another time.
Yep, that's our time for today. I hope this was helpful, though. And obviously, like I said, if you have more questions, feel free to DM me. Like I'll answer them anytime. And if you want to set up further sessions, we could always talk about that too.
We'll do. I probably will because this was more helpful than I ever would have. I really do mean that.
Cool. I'm glad to hear that.